So if I was a biopharma company, I find myself wanting to look at a QBD approach. I would look to starting at the very processes that we currently use to bring our product through the clinical development timeline. So every one of those process steps has a handoff. And in that handoff, there's information, there's material, there are key deliverables that are defined, or that are necessary, rather, to take place to make that handoff. More often than not, they're not defined very well. What QBD provides for you are the questions that need to be answered in those handoffs. And so use QBD to jog your process such that you are answering these questions as early as possible. Make the costing metric, make the unit operation metric, make the yield metric part of the development metric for moving your process to that green light decision to develop. We want to allow our development teams all the creativity necessary to optimize and focus its efforts so that what we end up is something, a proof of concept that has a high probability of working. But we want to layer upon that the business sensibility required to ensure that as we move the process through, we get a good chance of understanding what's key and what's not key in our process. QBD allows us to do that. So look at that entrepreneurial component and infuse that with some of the key downstream considerations that have historically caused you problems. And now let's make that a dialogue for the decision to develop this process forward. So whether you're a venture capital company or you're a Fortune 50 company and you're making that same go-no-go decision in terms of investing the time and money to move that product through the scale-up and development timeline, let's make sure that the downstream elements have been at least brought up in the early development phases. It's going to help you first compartmentalize the cost exposure for your organization, but also compartmentalize the quality and process requirements that you're going to need to be successful as you move that product through development life cycle.